Follow Connolly here at Connolly Farms, Portland, melting in around about 400 cows there, 420 cows.
Can we do the same in another 30 years' time? I don't think so. As contractors, as farmers, we can't do any more than we're doing. Labour's going to be a big issue for us in the future. It is. It's already here. We were in dairying, but whenever we were in the potatoes heavy, there was 3 years at home. And I worked with potatoes up to 2,000. I was working with beef cattle and I was working with about 120 cows. And something I had to give, and I said I'll give up the potatoes. Do I regret giving them up? Some days I do, some days I don't. I worked with beef for a lot of years, heavy in beef. It's only as last since 2012, 13, I went into dairying heavy. But then in 2015, 16, 17, we were hard with TB. Nearly lost everything. I wish they had took it all. Anybody that's TB, nobody knows what they go through with TB. It knocked my confidence at that time, I'll be quite honest. I was going out, instead of going out to 220 cows at that time, I was going out to 120. I mean, the first run of TB we got, we lost 18 cows and 34 heifers in the one day, and them 34 heifers were my heifers for that year, and every one of them was in calf. So instead of 34, you're losing what is that, near 70 in total. And the cows was the same. We never could get a clear test. And then when we did get a clear test, the next test went down again. And that went on for nearly 3 years. We turned around and then we decided, right, when we did get a clear test we needed to buy, we went to Germany. There's a fellow I knew in the south well, and he bought 70 heifers, brought them home, all uncalved, all pedigree, all sex semen, and them were the ones that got something running. And genus came in at that stage. They're here, what, 7, 8 years? And it's only now, this last 18 months, the herd has just started to grow real quick. Next year we could touch 500 cows without any problem. But do we really want to go there? I don't know. They're doing well, what it is, but that's what got me back into dairying. Young stock and all's coming for it. Store cattle's coming for it, and that's the way it is.
Well, I left school in 2012, home, and we were melting a couple hundred cows here at home. There's room sort of for expansion out there, and we said we'd drive it on, and look, we got a bad touch with TB sort of 3 or 4 years in after I left school, and nearly had lost the herd at that time. Tried to build up from that again, and we had joined with Genus at that time. Back, I think that was 2019 we joined with them. Worked well now, to be fair, now done a good job. The fellas that does the work, not the technicians, not there, they're good fellas, how you know, and definitely helped us a long way to get us where we're at today. So it has. That's where we grew the cow numbers, you know, with sex semen and stuff like that there. We had the land that there to do it with, so we could push on a wee bit further, you know. It's worked well now, to be fair, you know, it's the sex semen things and that seems to be a good job, you know. If you're good run of heifers coming through, you know, and you can plan for what you need in the following year and stuff like that there, and beef cattle was sort of rare, everything up there to maybe 6 months and that there, and sort of let them go at that, or the beef stock, you know, sort of let them go after 6 months and that there. All our heifers are reared right through to milk. Made a change there. There was a bit of a change in the middle of the summer there to moved over from Genus there to Cogent. Seemed to be so far so good. Everything seems to be fine, you know. We're breeding sort of that middle of the road, you know, Holstein cow. You know, we're not totally extreme. We're not an extreme Holstein herd, so we're an indoor system all the time. Been indoor now since 2008. Luck works well. Just where we're at, we haven't much land around the yard here to be grazing cows, and everything's fed. We're an all year round calving system, so we are. We're calving 365 days a year, every year, so we are. Works well, sort of the same cows calving every month. Maybe calve a wee more extra now, you know, heifers and stuff and that in the winter months and that there. Just keeps everything flowing the same, you know, kind of way, you know, just cash flow side of things and that there as well. It just keeps everything sort of running sweetly, you know, that kind of way. Wouldn't say I'm more a stock man, wouldn't say I'm more a machinery man, but split both roads, you know, one with the other equally as much, to be honest now. So it's nice to get away there at the beginning of May, so it is. And when everything's dry and that there, it's nice now, there's no doubt about it and that. No, when it's all going well, it's 100%, so it is nice. So
Stock is number one priority, has to be. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of work with it. We're working with cows every day of the week, working with young cattle every day of the week, and that's the same in the summertime. They come number one. I'll milk most days. I like milking cows. That's the way it's bred. That's just quite honest. I love the parlour, I love working with cows. And that the young stock's the same, Philip's the very same. I think it's a good job. Gets you a variety of everything in the farm. Our cows will not be the biggest of cows. They're Holstein Friesian, they're not completely all Holstein. They're medium-sized cows, durability cows, indoor system, don't get me wrong, indoor system, but they've done well. That's what we're looking for, something that's going to be a wee bit more long longevity. I'll not knock Holsteins, Holsteins is very good and that there, but we want the middle of the road. We want a cow to eat forage and plenty of it. Now don't get me wrong, well, we're feeding all our own barley or all our own wheat or our own maize, they still have plenty of meal in them. Cows is averaging out there at the minute at 32 litres. We've been sitting at that nearly every day of the year now, and that's down to genetics. It was Genus that done all their breeding. They came in at the start and they done all their breeding and done a good job. Done a good job for it, although we're with Cogent now, but that's nothing to do with Genus, that's nothing to do with that there, it's just we changed over to Cogent. They've done a real good job, they got us a nice sized cow, plenty of milk. I don't want this great big highfalutin cow, although I've nothing against a big highfalutin cow. But I think everybody's looking at a medium-sized cow that's going to eat plenty of forage and with just good quality milk. Components is very good. But then the components is down to a lot of what you feed today. New grasses is a big factor in milking cows. Our oldest grass in this farm wouldn't be any more than 6 years old. We'd be sowing out 50, 60 acres every year. Don't get me wrong, people, it's a very costly job sowing out ground. But if you take in the next 5 years, but you have to take into consideration how much you're growing per acre and then what that quality is. And that's what gets you cheap grass for the next 6 seasons to feed to a cow to produce litres of milk. This trying to produce milk out of a ground that's 10, 12, 13 year old, it's no use. No use. And I think you're better growing bread crops too. We grow a lot of whole crop wheat. I know it would be nice to take that to the combine. Wheat's very nice to cut, but I don't get the enjoyment. I ends up going to the silo. So it does, but that's very good. And maize is very good. So you need all that. There's people, yes, I'll not people not feeding nothing but silage, but we find that it's just like you sitting down to your dinner, somebody fed you potatoes every day. So you shouldn't get scunnered at. It's the same as a cow. A cow, if you break it up with whole crop maize, and we have a lot of winter rye or spring rye in the silo there too, and that there, that's a multitude of everything.
We're melting through a Dairy Master 16-point parlour there, so we are. That was updated back maybe 10 or 11 years ago now, so it was. It works as 100%, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, you know. Takes a wee bit of time through it now, so it does, definitely does. Maybe down the line, we will be looking, you know, in the future, whether we'll be changing to a parlour again or whether we'll go down the road of robots or what, you know, we'll just haven't made any decisions where we'll go that way yet now, so we haven't. Whether we'll increase more cows and that there and stuff, you know, we'll see what way it works out. At the minute, it's working, it's fine, it's 100%. We started genomic testing there, so we have there this summer now, so that's just something different just to see, you know, if we can see what way things are going, breeding and stuff and that there wise, you know, it's new to us, so it'll be interesting to see now in the next year or two down the line what way that goes. It's just to see about genomics and cattle and stuff and that there for breeding wise, you know, for milk yields and fertility and strength and ability and stuff like that there through cows and that there. It's just to where you can get your best from, you know, so you're breeding from your best all the time, you know. That's something you said, we'll give it a go and see how it goes sort of thing.
We've yet to get a good agriculture minister in government. There's not one person that's come into government to stand up for agriculture. You go to Scotland there, you never hear Scotland mentioned in the media. You never hear them mentioned about farming. But they have an influence for farming. Farming in Scotland has a status that's the best farming community in the whole world. Tell me this, we have the best food in the whole world, the same as Scotland. Who's promoting it? There's not our government promoting it. We have to try to promote it ourselves. Whoever comes out in government and said, hey boys, brilliant job, buy good Northern Ireland food, I said, they're not one person in government. Every person that's come into government in Northern Ireland, they have downed us from the day they come in to the day they go out. And I would love to see somebody coming in and saying, right, we're taking Northern Ireland by the horns here. They're doing a great job, and milk and beef, lamb, pork, chickens, everything. I want somebody to come in and say, I'm going to promote Northern Ireland as the best food place in the world. So we have. We have the most extreme regulations in the world for our food. Where else are you going to get that? Go to all these other countries. I'm sorry for saying this, Gomer. Go to these other countries. They have no traceability compared to what we have. And that's what I'd like to see, is somebody come into government and say, right, we're going to promote Northern Ireland agriculture. Because there's nobody yet has done that in government. And even the Department of Agriculture, they should be standing up to and say, we're going to help the farmers here, instead of crucifying the farmers. We were lifting grass one night and the police landed out to us, and the policeman, he landed to the end of the lane, and they rung for me. And the police officer said to me, he said, look, see, he said, well, it'll take you long. Well, I said, he's in there, and there are 20 acres in there, and I said, he's 15 and left it. And I said, if he's another 10 minutes, I said, he's out of there. And this boy came out to me at a house and scowling, he said, I hate to get up in the morning. I said, you're lucky, you can go to bed till you get up. I said, we haven't got to bed yet. And the fellow that was with me that used to work to us, he turned around and he said to him, he said, that, you remember when you get up in the morning that I'm producing the food for you to eat? He said, I never ate any of your food. The boy, he turned around, he worked to us, he turned around, he said, 40 days without food and you'll be dead. He said, if you don't eat it, he said, I don't know what you're living on. And away the boy went. That's fact. Nobody has patience for us on the road. If we dirty a road in, they're yelling. But they don't realise what we're bringing out is for them. What we melt in the morning is for them. What beef is produced is for them. Chickens, beef, pork, everything else. It's all for the consumer. But supermarkets are not even promoting the farmers. There's no supermarket out there in this country promoting farmers. I don't see them promoting us. Even our processors are not promoting us. I think all our processors between all sectors in agriculture can promote the farm sector far more in media, television, everything else. But tell me this, do you ever see anything on television to do with the farmers? There's nothing. It's all out selling advertisements, but there's nothing there to dedicate to the farmer. And I think we need to be doing more so. I think farmers would need to step up. We took a bit of a stand last year. The Ulster Farmers Union took a bit of a stand last year for a tractor rally. But where's it went since? I don't see anything since. You have to be seen to be doing something, but they're doing nothing. They're the people that we're depending on to do it. Our agriculture minister, all he's interested in is the environment. He's not interested in you and me or anybody else. I think that they all have to take a stand now and fight for us, because other parts of the world, you take Brazil and all these places and all these other countries, what are they doing? They're helping agriculture. Take our Prime Minister, he's just a thing called that in iron sticks. If that is implemented here, I fear for my son, at the end of my day, that he'll never be fit to pay back what we would owe. So I'll just have to sell. We all work hard, work very hard. But I think the people that's behind us, that's supposed to be in front of us, is not working as hard as what we're working. They need to encourage people to come into farming. You take our young folks leaving the country. My hands wouldn't hold at the minute of young ones that's left this year and went to New Zealand, Australia and America. We have people that I know well that went to America there back in the spring day. They don't want to come home. There's nothing for them here. There's no incentive. There's nobody saying, look, say, come on, we'll get this started. We'll help you boys to farm. We'll get you up and running. Well, nobody's offering them anything. There's nothing on the table to offer a young person to stay at home. All it is go out and get a job, do this, do that, do the next thing. But there's nothing there to entice them to come home the day to farm. That's just quite honest. My day, there was opportunities in farming. I feel for a young person today to try to come into agriculture, you can't do it. Number one, he can't buy land. Number two, he couldn't buy the machinery. Number three, he couldn't buy cattle a day. It's just a vicious circle. There's nobody there to help them. In our day, it was easier. Yes, I'll admit that. But you'd have rung up somebody and they were there to help you. And even the banks is the same. Banks looks at a set of figures a day, that's all they look at. They don't know you or me or anybody else in farming. They just treat you as a business today, but they don't understand how we run our business. You take milk today, look, it's just drops. So from last year to now, it's down 10 pence. If you take bonuses now, it's down 10 pence a litre from this time last year. Well, tell me this, what other company would do what we do for 10 pence a litre less? 100,000 litres, if you supply 100,000, 10,000. It doesn't take a smart man to add it up. There's a programme on UTV there, they call it Rare Breed. That's what we are. We're a rare breed. There's nobody else who do what we do. That's just quite honest. Maybe I'm outspoken, but I think people has to take note and has to stand up and fight for their rights now. Everybody else fights for them. We don't. We would be a wee bit more shut the door and stay behind it. I think farmers are gaining a wee bit of momentum now, and I think they're not going to sit back as much as they did sit back.
You know, it's definitely not simple out there. There's no doubt about it, it's not simple. You're met with plenty of challenges along the road, you know, the likes of TB and weather and stuff and that there, even prices and stuff and that there, you know, the running costs and stuff and that. You're producing milk, you know, what you're being told, what you're taking for it, you know, you can't ask what you need for it, you know, so you're taking whatever they're giving you, you know, kind of thing. You have to be as fair with the man you're doing the work for it there as well, you know, you try and make it pay for him as well and that there, and you have to make it pay for yourself, but it's, there's plenty of challenges along the lines, as there definitely is, and I would say there's plenty more to come, you know. Look, I maintain if you've good enough people behind you and that there, and you've good enough fellas working to you and good enough family and stuff and that there, you know, you can just head a march on through, like say they. I would say you just keep at it, you know, how when you get up there in the morning and that you're coming out there and the cow's milking, you've everything, when they're all standing lined up and feeding that there, you know, it gives you a lift, you know, and getting away there on a good sunny day there and that there, and everything's going well and the dust is flying and stuff and that there, and you see cattle and stuff grazing out in the field, and it's nice to see, you know, crops and that growing and cattle growing and stuff and that there, you know, it pushes you on, it definitely does. Like.
Over all the years, will I done anything different? No. I wouldn't. Since we were fit to walk, all us together, there's three of us at home and three brothers at home, we never had a squabble. We all split up, what I told you 30 years ago. We all worked together, we grew potatoes together, we grew barley, we beat cattle, we done all that together. And will we do anything any different? No. If you're going into farming to make a pile of money, don't bother starting. Don't bother starting. It's a way of life. You're asset rich and you're penny poor. That's quite honest. You'll build up assets, and that's what you'll do, but you'll not have any quantity of money. You'll not be sitting with hundreds of thousands lying in the bank. You may go to some other kind of job and do that, but you'll not do it in farming. But would I do anything any different? No. It's a lovely way of life. Yes, there's days you could squeal, you could yell from the roof, the ceilings and all, but no, I don't think you'll do anything any different. I think as you're in you, it's not in you. Seeing things growing and new birth coming along and that there's nothing like it. There's no other feeling in the world of what we're doing. And I'll be quite honest, every farmer should be proud of what they do. Everybody should be proud of what they do in farming, because who else can do what we do? We're feeding the world. Nobody else is going to feed them. You go through the world, hey, everything else is added on, but farmers are the most dedicated people and the most unthought people in the world. But I would tell them, everyone, to hold their heads up and be very proud of what they do. That's just quite honest. And the general public should thank us for what we do. You take in 2020 when COVID was on, everybody was clapping the farmers. They what they do today, they're nearly giving the fingers.